Hello guys and girls, welcome back to another video. I'm finally starting the small sketchbook with the brush pen of course, but after doing this drawing I realized I may not be using the brush pen as much as possible, I guess. Not because it's bad, it's just a little bit too thick in most of the areas because, yeah, when you have it at the very end of it, it's alright, but the second you get a little bit, to the side, you get too much ink for the page size, at least in my opinion. But I think this one worked out pretty well. It is a real time video, which is pretty nice, which is also like, it's one of the reasons I love the small sketchbook because it takes much shorter time to make a decent drawing. And to be honest, sometimes it's all I want to do. It's a little 10-minute drawing or, you know, something like that. So I did that today. It's also great to limit yourself with a smaller canvas size because sometimes it can be very difficult to use tools which are meant for larger surfaces on smaller canvases. It makes sense, but I think it's a great exercise. At least I do that sometimes. Yeah. I went to school today for the first time in 50 something days. And it's weird in a way. Um, yeah. So I have basically just started school, which is cool. It's very cool. We went on a field trip for about 4 hours. We went out to a forest. We walked around and we did some stuff and played some games. Not really like games, but you know, like team building games. And because we just did long time since you guys seen each other, so you should do some team building exercises. And your old classmates. Yeah, shut up. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great either. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time, of course, but most of the people were there because they were missing their friends, and we got to spend time together. But it's not the same. But we didn't get any homework or any stupid assignments, so it was all right, I guess. Just a little bit, you know, unimportant in reality, at least in my opinion. But maybe I'm just negative, and that's all right. Tomorrow I have nothing to do. Well, I can't go to school because we had like 2 hours, so just one class for two sets of 45 minutes. But I'm at a funeral by then, and after that I'm at a family lunch after the funeral. So I'm not going to school tomorrow, and Tuesday I have a little bit of school. I think I have two classes at the very end of the day, and then I have work because I took a shift from one of my colleagues. Yeah, so just a chill week, I guess. One thing though I think about is in terms of just overall existence. My boss, she wrote me a message, and she had all right to do so, but I also didn't really, have any place to explain. But I don't really care because I'm just gonna do what she says, I guess. But she wrote to me, I can see that you're, clocking in earlier than you're supposed to on your, worksheet, and we at most you can clock in 10 minutes before, um, because that's just how it is. And the thing is, I understand it. She wants to pay us, the least possible and get the work done, which I think is fair. Not really, but whatever. That's how the system works. But my problem with that is, of course, I didn't write this to her. I wrote to her, yes, I'll do that from now on. My bad. Um, so yeah, but my problem with it is that I don't clock in, 20 minutes before my shift actually starts because I want more money. Yes, that's a consequence of, clocking in 20 minutes earlier, but it's not like I'm doing nothing. I'm not standing there for 20 minutes doing nothing. I'm working 20 minutes earlier than normal. But you know what? That's fair. That's fine. It's your choice. Whatever. Because I'm not doing it to make more money and do nothing. I'm doing it to get the work done faster so I can go home at the specified time. And you know what? Most of the time, when we're done before, we go home before. We don't wait after. You know why? Because it is about money, yes, but it's mostly just about our time. Because I want to work, I can work after school, yes, but I don't want to spend the whole night there, even if I got paid more, if you get my point. But the only thing this is going to do is like, yes, I'm going to follow the rules myself, and of course, all the other people should too. That's, our boss's rules. But that just means when we have, we have old people come here, this activity center thing we have, which is nice. Um, when we have about 70 and or more, that just means if we don't come early, we're going to stay later, which in turn means we waste more, not waste, but we use more of our time where we should be, home, sleeping, studying, whatever, working, because we didn't just clock in 20 minutes earlier and then we ended up clocking out 20 minutes later, which for her, our boss, it's the same. This is the same thing. But you know what? It's her choice. So I'm just going to do as she says because it's whatever. But now I know. Now I know. I didn't know before, of course. I didn't know. Didn't know before. But if anyone asks, I just, tell her. If she asks, of course, "Hey, you didn't know this?" I'm like, no, I was told by the ones before me who, taught me what to do, and that this was okay and this was a thing to do, a good thing to do. So, yes. But I think it's a little bit stupid. It changes nothing. But of course, when it's a group of older people, which are about like 60 or yeah, around the 60 mark, it's kind of a small group. Then it's completely different. Then you can easily do it in the amount of time that you normally have, let's say 4 hours instead of coming 20 minutes earlier or something like that. That's just how it is. And other times there's stuff you have to do after because you can't be at two places at once. So yeah, that's just a little rant with a little drawing, which I think is really cool. But whatever. That's her problem, not mine. I just work for a paycheck. I don't work to make that place better. I like the work. I think it's a decent job for a student, but I work to make money, not for fun. So that's just how it is. I don't really want to work in a perfect world. I don't want to work like that's just the truth, but it's whatever. Yeah. So that was my little rant about work, I guess. And if you watched this far, you probably have liked the video. So if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and comment. Would mean the world to me. And have a nice day, night, whenever you're watching this. Have a good time. Bye bye.